Does anyone watching remember this Mortal Kombat movie? How about this Mortal Kombat book? Does this Mortal Kombat game ring a bell?
Can you at least come in and pull my pants down for me?
Well, it should, because today I'm ranking the biggest mistakes in Mortal Kombat history. That's right, nothing is off limits, from awful art books to terrible movies, very bad games, and everything in between. Yeah, you get the idea. Basically, every Mortal Kombat failure is getting ranked today. Well, the big stuff at least. Even terrible costumes get an honorable mention. Along with terrible rosters, Mortal Kombat 3, nobody likes you. Alright, this is you versus the man she tells you not to worry about. Also, yes, Mortal Kombat 1 gets included today too, because I like that game, but the reality is it underperformed and also upset a lot of fans. So just because I like it doesn't mean it's safe. Here's the tier list on screen, so let's get to ranking. If I missed any big failures, make sure to let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to leave a like to prevent Mortal Kombat mistakes from happening in the future. Okay, here we go, the worst mistakes in Mortal Kombat history. Let's begin with a Mortal Kombat movie, Annihilation to be specific, because this film is considered so awful by so many fans. Not only because the film itself is bad, but also it comes after one of the best video games ever, especially for the time. And I'm not joking, the 1995 movie is beloved by pretty much everybody. Even at the time, it was very popular and fans loved it. So going from that film to this was just wild. Yeah, the films are so different. All the actors got replaced for the most part, except for Liu Kang and Kitana. Sub-Zero and Scorpion show up for one scene, then never get mentioned again. Jade's evil and gets killed by a CGI monster. Shao Kahn is one of the goofiest characters in the whole movie. Then of course there's terrible CGI everywhere. Almost everything about this movie is bad, so I'm gonna put it in complete fail. No, how about shameful? Because some people do hate watch this movie or just watch it because it's bad. You know what I mean? Some films are so terrible they're actually funny to watch, and Mortal Kombat Annihilation definitely falls into that category. Next up is the Mortal Kombat Encyclopedia / art book known as Flawless Victory. I've made 2 full videos about this book if you want to check them out, but this book fails at everything. There's AI art, there's tons of dead space, all this negative area on the page. The whole thing is so sloppily done, obvious money grab in my opinion. Also random gameplay screenshots everywhere instead of actual art or behind the scenes stuff that people actually want to read. Yeah, this book goes in complete fail, which is ironic given the title. Flawless Victory? No, Flawless Fail, alright? Because this book fails spectacularly. You know what everyone, today's video might be about failures, but today's sponsor is amazing. I'm talking about Wand. Gaming is already fun, but changing the rules? Now that's next level. Like getting a dynamic map or being teleported to rare items? What about slowing the game down to make reacting easier? Or adjusting the difficulty to your liking? Yeah, Wand transforms your game into a completely new experience. It automatically scans the games in your library and finds assists for you, which you can turn on and off with one click and it won't harm your game. Take Elden Ring for example. This game is hard and that's the point, but everybody admits some parts are too difficult. So what if you could just turn off damage for that segment? Or make your character impossible to detect and just run straight to the boss? Wand makes these borderline rage-inducing moments much more tolerable, and now you can skip to the parts of Elden Ring that are really fun. Wand makes your games easier without having to search the internet or watch long tutorial videos. Even if you've already beat the game, Wand still helps you out by letting you bypass tricky or difficult segments of the game so you can get to the good stuff. As you can see, Wand is just amazing. Download Wand for free using my link in the description and play your games your way. Try Wand today, it's a brand new way to game. Alright, and back to the video. Bald Jade. So this one's tough to rank. On the one hand, almost everybody hates this look. I'd say 99% of people, and the only ones defending it are not Mortal Kombat fans. They're either defending the actress or they want to make this a racial issue for some reason. It's not about that. Jade's never been bald in any of the games, comic book, films, what have you. So making her bald now makes 0 sense and fans don't like it because it doesn't look like the character. Like mentioned earlier, 99% of fans hate bald Jade, so I could put it in complete fail, but on that same note, is it that big of a deal? Because the movie might be good overall. Mortal Kombat 2 could be a good movie, which is why I'm putting bald Jade in bruh. Because yes, it's a terrible choice, but not gonna impact the movie too much, hopefully. Mythologies Sub-Zero, that's right, considered by many to be the worst Mortal Kombat Kombat game in terms of the gameplay itself. Overall, the game is just very difficult, but as a result has a speedrunning community, which is fun to watch. Regardless, this game is considered terrible by most fans. Even so, I can't put this game in complete failure, and here's why. The lore alone in this game is such a big deal for the Mortal Kombat series as a whole. This game introduces Quan Chi, Shinnok, Serena, the Netherrealm, more backstory for Scorpion, more backstory for Sub-Zero. We even learn more about Raiden too. Yeah, overall this game does a lot. It's kind of like a backbone to the Mortal Kombat series, or at least one piece of the spinal column, right? A vertebrae, if you will. So for that reason alone, I'm putting it in not that bad. Because sure, the gameplay is challenging, but really it's just Mortal Kombat 3 with a turn button. Next up is Ash Williams being cut from Mortal Kombat 11. Oh man, fans are gonna complain about this for years to come, alright? I guarantee it. Because he was planned for the game. I don't care what anybody says, an email went out to certain people, myself included, with Ash Williams in Kombat Pack 1. Yes, he was definitely planned, but character rights are a nightmare. Some people own the film rights while others own the game rights. It's such a mess, right? Even the Evil Dead game fell through for this reason, along with the Friday the 13th video game. Yeah, film rights and character rights are a complete nightmare to deal with. So the same thing happened with Mortal Kombat 11. Ash Williams was gonna be in Kombat Pack 1, but had to be cut since NetherRealm couldn't get the rights to work. Yeah, I'm gonna say complete fail, because everything was lined up for this to work. That one domino piece was missing and caused the whole house of cards to come tumbling down. That sucks. Mortal Kombat 3, that's right, the arcade release. Look at the roster on screen, okay? Check out this character select and notice how all the ninjas are missing. That's right, unless you count Sub-Zero, but don't forget, he's not technically a ninja, alright? He gets mad at you when you call him a ninja. And every other ninja is missing. Scorpion, Kitana, Reptile, Melina. Yeah, they're all gone. The roster in this game was so terrible that most fans kept playing Mortal Kombat 2 instead, and that's a fact. Even though MK3 had a run button and better graphics, all that stuff didn't matter because the roster was so bad. It wasn't until Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the updated version, when players started showing interest. And in case anybody's wondering why Mortal Kombat 3's roster was so terrible, it's because the studio was being sued by a lot of the actors. And as a result, their characters are not in Mortal Kombat 3. Overall, I would say Mortal Kombat 3 goes in shameful, because it's not a complete fail, the gameplay is still decent, and some people do enjoy it to this day. However, everything else around the game was terrible. Mortal Kombat Legacy's failure and lying to fans. Yeah, this could be a long rant, I'll try to keep it short, because I've made 6 videos about this so far, and honestly, I could make a 7th because my Goro statue's not here. Yeah, lots of fans learned the hard way that their collector's edition and other versions of the game are not arriving until like next year, 6 months down the line. And keep in mind, the physical game itself was also months after the digital release. Then on top of that, the game launched without crossplay, the online features were terrible and barely worked at all, which developers purposely kept a secret, or at least it seems that way, because they didn't come clean until like 1 or 2 days before the game released. So yeah, this whole situation is shameful. That's where it's going. The game itself is getting better. I recently played it and it's fun on the couch. Online is still not that great. Most of the input delay has been fixed, but honestly, I'm already bored because with the online not working and my girlfriend not wanting to play anymore with me, what can I really do? I don't want to play the AI because it's extremely cheap and reads your inputs. So yeah, as a result, I'd much rather play anything else. I would say the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection goes in shameful. Mortal Kombat 1, that's right, the moment you've all been waiting for. This game undersold quite a lot compared to Mortal Kombat 11. Now, compared to other fighting games, I think it actually sold the most copies. However, it also went on a big sale very early because WB saw the game was underperforming. So yeah, that definitely could have inflated the sales a little bit, right? Then on top of that, Mortal Kombat 1's release was quite awful. Many features were not working. Even practice mode was missing basic features that every other game had. The cameo system did not get received well. The story changes, the lore changes, the character changes. Everybody hates that. Don't forget about the gender swaps, right? Sector, Cyrax, Janet Cage, and Madame Bo. Yes, that is Bo Raicho, because now we know that Sector's father was an engineer and stuff. That's not Bo Raicho, okay? I'm not gonna lie, ranking Mortal Kombat 1 is difficult on this tier list because I could say complete fail, and that would make a lot of people happy since the hatred for this game is pretty high. However, at this point, the product itself is actually not bad. The gameplay works as intended, there's tons of characters, it's honestly more fun to play than most Mortal Kombat games in my opinion. And while I don't like the changes to characters and lore, something tells me NetherRealm NetherRealm's gonna walk that back, either in the next game or the sequel after that. In other words, I don't think these character changes are gonna stick, so as a result, I'm putting Mortal Kombat 1 in shameful. Special Forces, that's right, this game is considered by many to be the biggest failure in games for Mortal Kombat, and that's for several reasons. Not only is it very redundant, and the map design is terrible, right? You will hate this game without a guide telling you where to go, because you will get lost a lot. Then you have enemies that shoot you off screen and can actually stun lock you, right? You can't escape before you just die from getting shot over and over again off screen, so that's also not fun. And unlike Mythologies Sub-Zero, this game adds nothing to the lore. In fact, it adds some plot holes, which is hilarious but also not good. Everything about Special Forces actually harms the Mortal Kombat series as a whole. Then to make matters worse, I just learned recently that Sonya had her own section completely cut from the game, because at first the game went through developer hell, and then at some point John Tobias left. He's the co-creator of Mortal Kombat, for anyone not aware. Everyone talks about Ed Boon, but John Tobias did all of the story and also designed all of the characters, I think. So yeah, him leaving was a big deal, but Special Forces got Frankenstein into something different. All of Sonya's parts got cut and Jack's story got changed a bit too, and the end result was Special Forces. This game is not terrible though. I could definitely see playing it in my free time if I'm bored. I made one video about it and wasn't hating it, honestly. I do hear later parts can get very frustrating, but that's what guides are for, right? Which is why I'm putting Special Forces in bruh. That feels like a good spot. The Mortal Kombat 2 movie delay. I've made multiple videos ranting about this. I'm sure everyone knows about this situation, but in case you don't, Mortal Kombat 2 was set to release in October of this year, 2025. And it was hyped up for months, possibly over a year actually. Fans were excited for this film to drop, and then it got delayed until summer of 2026. Yeah, over 8 months later, and the only reason why is to make WB's earnings look better in 2026. And that's seriously the only reason. They're not changing a thing about this film. The producers and writers have said this film is not being changed one bit, they're just delaying it, like straight up. Which I don't care what anyone tries to say, that's just shameful, like straight up. Delaying the Mortal Kombat 2 movie is shameful, and fans are not gonna soon forget. And alright everyone, there you have it, ranking all the dumbest mistakes in Mortal Kombat history, in my opinion. But if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, and if you're new, subscribe so you never miss any future content. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.